Hello there everyone, hello. Welcome back to SRB2. It's another character replay stream, but it's a rather special one because it is in fact the final one. After months and months and months, we have finally covered, or by the end of this stream, will have covered, all of the 120 plus character mods that I have played over my years of reviewing SRB2 characters. And we are finishing off with the ever popular StephChars mod, a set of OCs by DrStephen. There are 4 characters in total. There are Skip, based roughly on A Hat in Time. I'm going to mispronounce several of these characters' names, I apologise now. There's Jana, I believe I was corrected into saying that's their name, based roughly on Mega Man 0. There is Ku, I believe his name was, Ku or Ko. I don't think it was Cow. I believe they're based on Wario? I'm not entirely sure. They're definitely based on something, like a burly brawler kind of game, but I can't necessarily remember exactly what game that was. And then finally, there is Echoes and Abyss, who are more or less entirely new creations. I don't think they're based on anything in particular. They're sort of a glass cannon. We'll just go in order of them. We'll go, you know, Skip, then Jana, then Ku, so on and so forth. We won't do entire playthroughs with each of them. I played them, comparatively speaking, recently enough that I kind of vaguely get what they're about. I think I've played with them casually quite a bit as well compared to the normal SRB2 character, or the normal kind of topic I cover on these streams. But let's begin. Skip. You should also see, I should mention that there should be a poll live on which you can decide who your favourite SRB2 character is. Is it, sorry, not SRB2 character, your favourite StephChars mod is. Is it Skip, Jana, Ku, or Echoes? Okay, as much as it doesn't look it, his jump is naturally damaging. He also has a series of dives and a crafting mechanic, strangely enough. He also gains scrap when defeating enemies. And as much as his moveset is very simple, being based on A Hat in Time, it is rather versatile. It's a fun moveset, I'm not going to lie. There we are. Right. The big part is the fact that you can combo your abilities in any order, so you can do a double jump, dive, spin, or you can instead do a jump, dive, another jump. And then of course it's all a case of trying to maintain your momentum after your jump as well. It's also pretty fun. It's quite satisfying to see. The one thing is that I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to sort of spin on the ground, because that's only something you can do, but I'm not entirely sure how. You can also grip onto walls, it should be mentioned. Now, I think unlike the last time that I covered Skip, I have actually played A Hat in Time, so I can see vaguely how accurate it is to that game. Which I did admittedly like quite a bit. Probably not as much as some other people, but I did enjoy A Hat in Time quite a bit. I didn't find it particularly funny, but I did enjoy it. Now this would be a good time actually, if we can get a moment of peace, to go and equip some of our shields and try some of the shield dives out, because that's a big part of how Skip works. But unfortunately, I think with the constant threat of Eggman firing lasers at us that we're not really going to have the time to pull our backpack out and get to work on building something. So I think we're just going to have to use the basic moveset for the time being. The other thing that should be mentioned is that unlike some of the characters in this pack, Skip does not have a super form. He has the power of the Steam Summer Sale. If you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, his prices for sealed are reduced by 25%, which isn't a massive bonus, but, you know, then again, here's what it is. There are also several emotes. We'll probably try them out as we progress. Chaotic Hops 0805 seems to prefer above all others Echoes, which is fair enough. I did enjoy them quite a bit. They are the most recent character to come out from the pack. Also the most original one, being that they're not even partially based on another game series, but who knows. We'll figure out by the end of this stream which one I prefer. Right, let's go and try out one of these other items. Wall jump dive, homing dive, bounce dive, random power up. Let's do a random power up. Wind shield, that's just going to be a double jump, isn't it? Okay, yeah, it does launch you quite a bit higher. It just seems to not work if it's the second thing that you use. Not quite sure how the wind shield works. It seems to sometimes launch you up in the air, but not always. Is it just if you're not holding a direction, perhaps? That's a bit boring if it is. A bit limiting. And then it seems to shorten your dive the rest of the time, so a pretty crappy shield in all honesty. Unless it does work, in which case it's quite good. It also looks like it gives you a second dive, so I suppose that's also another benefit. Which doesn't power you up. So make of that what you will. At this point we've spent so long doing this that the buzz has arrived. Which in typical fashion hits us and removes our shield before we can attack them. Wonderful. And let us progress to the end of the level. Oh, you bastard. There we are. Again, feel free to vote in the poll that should still be visible to decide on which one's your favourite, because I'm curious who's the most loved out of these roster, because I've seen people say that they prefer just about every one of the characters, so I am curious to see who the overall favourite actually is. I don't believe anything other than normal shield give any benefits to the dive. I think this, you know, Speed Sneaker's invincibility are just what they say on the tin. They just make you faster and that's it, which is, you know, is fine. But it's not as interesting as a shield, you know? Skip past everyone. Thank you. Somehow get some scrap, I didn't even realise I hit anything. I will say I do like the tiny little pattering of feet sound effect that Skip has. And just about managed to save it somehow. Quite amazed. Right, this is the homing dive, so not quite sure if it has any effect if you're not homing in on something, but I'm sure we'll find out. Doesn't look it. And now let's see here. Yeah, okay, it's got a pretty good range as well, not gonna lie. I'm not sure if we were homing in there, it didn't feel like it. Didn't seem like it, but certainly could have. Looks like it was pretty good range. There we are. Easy. Take out Eggman. We got the right shield for the job this time. Fortunately, he does do the awkward effect there, where sometimes if you hit them in the wrong way, he kind of decides against turning around, which can throw you off a little bit. That was also kind of awkward, constantly having my face mussed up against the glass. Gets the camera to act a bit strangely, but we come out on top in the end. Got there eventually. Deep Sea does seem like a prime opportunity to try out the water shield. Or elemental shield. Let's try that. Whoa! Quick dive. Basically immediately puts you on a slide effect. And a very strong slide effect at that. Could be quite useful in this stage actually, because there are a couple of points where you do want to get to the ground quickly. It's just a shame that at the end of the day it is still a dive, so you still got that sort of awkward angle. It's not quite a perfect ground pound. A really long horizontal arc, it should be noted. I really thought it would be at least a little bit shallower than that. And a sort of impromptu way to get up a flight of stairs. Did he manage to jump off the wall there, or was that just me? Just about made it. That's nice. Like that. Like in situations like that, really long area that would be great to have a ground pound in, and it just doesn't quite work. Definitely one of the less stellar shields there. Definitely better shields to select from. Let's see, does he keep them in between stages? Yes, he does, but we don't want to keep that. We want to try out the water shield now, see if that's any better. I think that's going to have the same problem there, to be honest. The hole has such a strange arc that it just doesn't quite work. But definitely some fun movement, if nothing else. The problem is you're kind of cutting off your horizontal movement for more vertical movement, and that can throw off the moveset a little bit. You can't really combo out of it either. At the same time though, you do now get infinite dives, so long as you occasionally throw out another jump in the process. So that's something, I suppose. Again, very cool movement. But then, hat in time, if there was one thing that game did have, it was good movement. Everything else was not stellar in my eyes, but that movement was very good, to be fair. Seems like the 10 ring monitors also give you a lot of scrap, so that's good. Let's finish off the stage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118 I don't think we need to see all of the seals, to be honest. I think we're getting the general gist of it. I think we can see from what we've collected so far how the overall picture of how Skip plays looks like. And in general, I think the overall picture is a strong one. I do quite like Skip. It's not a perfect recreation of the Hat in Time movement, but it's a very good one. In fact, it in many ways might even be better. I didn't love A Hat in Time. Played better 3D platformers, but I've never been a big fan of the kind of Mario 64 style of 3D platformer anyway, so make of that what you will. Just had to have a quick drink there. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Get the shield out of the way, it'll just be faster than bouncing up each time. But now the problem is we're bouncing so far back using the dive that we end up running back into the... Oh, he spawned close by, didn't he? Oh. Get out of the way before any more missiles at us. You have a nasty habit of spawning really close to us, Eggman. I'm not going to lie. There we are. Easy. And throughout the smug dance, again, famous from A Hat in Time. I think we'll finish Castle Eggman and we'll move on to the next character, Jana. See if we can't get at least one more shield to try out in the meantime. And again, we don't really need to bother with a super fall because Skip doesn't really have any. You can kind of gather how a 25% discount affects how he plays. You just get to throw out your shields a bit more often. Oh, you flag post, I didn't remember you being solid. I thought I was safe there, but clearly not. The bonking is a bit annoying, but again, I think that's just a Hat in Time thing. I think it's a thing with a lot of 3D platformers. The ridiculous need to have you bonk if you hit something. It looks better than just kind of sliding down the slope, but it can feel really annoying if not done correctly. There we are. Magnet shield, we've already got that one, haven't we? That's not new. Oh, you... Certainly, I think there should be a point where, like, come on. I've been diving for long enough, surely I shouldn't need to bonk anymore. Because then you have to do stuff like that. And just end it short with your extra jump. Bit annoying. I haven't really mentioned Skip's design, but I do like it. Shoes are a little bit strange, but I think the overall body is quite nice. And the jacket's fun as well, so I think I can forgive a slightly strange looking set of shoes. Let's build something while we're here. Charge dive. That sounds interesting. What else have we not got? Wire dive, that seems... If I remember correctly, this was quite an interesting looking dive. So this could... I think this one should work quite well for the situation we're in. Yeah. As you can see, it dives us very far forward. Does somewhat arrest our momentum at the end of it when we jump out. I'm not entirely sure whether that's intentional. None of the other seal dives do that same thing, but it does work in the end. I think there is a another sealed monitor in here. Yeah, we'll try this one out. Right, wall jump dive. Do you just... Oh, that's interesting. Just instead of bonking off walls, you can actually kind of kick off of them. Not a huge difference, but I'm sure if you use the right path, that's quite a big change. Plus, it's also one of the more common shields, so I suppose you can't do anything too exciting with it, or else, you know, balance concerns if you're a developer who cares about such things in SRB2. We've already used the wind shield, haven't we? Not restocking your double jumps does get a bit awkward on the back end of that ability, but make do with what we have on hand. Oh, okay. Generally don't take that line. It was really obviously coming towards us, but even so, I was a bit thrown off by the direction. Again, you just get so used to playing the game in a certain way that when something doesn't quite line up with what you're expecting, it can feel a bit strange. Apocalypse Shield. Shards Dive, apparently. I can more or less guess what this does, but let's have a look. Yep. Pretty much exactly what you would expect from an ability called Charge Dive. Though if you do use it all the way, you do lose it. A bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Drop down here. Whoa. I mean, worked out in the end, but went kind of everywhere there. Avoid the Lancer bots. Just very gracefully dive into there. Nice. Oh, that could have been so good. If the cycle was just a little bit different. But it works out in the end anyway. One final stage and then we'll move on to Jana for the rest of this playthrough. And then we'll do a second playthrough but with Coup and Echoes. Oh, this is gonna be awkward, isn't it? Trying to hit them with the dive. Actually, it might not be that bad, at least for the first few stages. We are thrown so far back that we kinda save ourselves from getting trapped in the cage with him. Only problem is when these spikes start appearing on the backside of the arena, that could, like I guess, could get a little bit awkward. But not too bad. We just need to kind of dive back out the way. That was all over the place, I'm not going to lie. Eggman's there. Just about avoid the egg pawn. Egg robos, I should say, not egg pawns. That's a later basic enemy type. One final smug dance for the road, and then we will move on to character number 2, Jana. Return to title. I will select Art Canyon, Jana. Right, I need to reacquaint myself with their abilities. I haven't played them quite as much. So skip, double jump for extra height. Basically, have a double jump and a stomp. Press spin to use your energy saber. Oh, we'll figure it out. Custom one, I think, is the main thing. Which can't be used in the air, as it turns out. Okay, a little bit different than I remember, but Oh, okay. I remember them having a lot more aerial mobility than that. Something's definitely not quite right. And also while we're here, we'll turn on Get All Emeralds, because Jana does have a super form. See, because I remember being able to use the custom 1 ability in the air, which made things a bit easier. Because like I can wall jump, but I can't really go anywhere with the wall jump in a lot of situations. So what gives? As in, I remember being able to like wall jump using a single wall, not having to try and find another one. Okay, well there are situations like that, I suppose. Got him. That's what we're looking for. You can also just barely touch the wall, skirt it, and that will help you on your way, but it's not perfect. Plus, again, if you press jump too many times in a single sitting, you do end up in a situation where you do your stomp and then you lose the ability to cling onto walls altogether, so make of that what you will. Combat ability, let's defeat some enemies. Like so. Oh, again, really getting thrown off by how short their jump is. It's a really, really, really short jump. I was expecting it to be much higher than it is. Is that really how short Zero can jump in the Mega Man games? Or the Mega Man X games, I should say. It feels crazy short. Especially when your sword slashes aren't going to do you much good with staying in the air, who knows. Awkward. But we'll figure it out. Controller disconnected, give me a sec. There we are. So check. Yeah, there's that taunt. I thought that they had another taunt as well, but who knows how that one's pulled off. Typical, come on, hit the enemies. I suppose the one good thing about the sword swings is that they redirect your momentum, so that is something there, I suppose. Oh, you! No, you bastards. Wonderful, fantastic, great. I didn't want those rings anyway. I didn't want to see what the super form looked like. Why would I want that? Right, let's not get hit by those enemies this time. There we are. That's a bit more successful this time. There was an enemy there. Oh my god! Why weren't you spawning in earlier? Do you only... I remember you charging at you... great. Wonderful. Pikmin says, hi. Hello there, Pikmin. How are you? Right, can we Yeah, we can fire that off in the air. Which is good for us because we can actually hit these columns before we get to them. Though we do have to account for the slope. Oh, come on. Whatever, we'll leave it standing. Right, some other people are now voting in the polls. I can see that Echoes has dropped down slightly. There are some people preferring other members of the Steph characters. I think they were called Team Crystal Crew or something like that on the download page. Who knows? Pat my throat a little bit. Very boring minecart ride later. Come on, get it over and done with. I really do wish there was a way to skip this with a character who can't break through barn doors. Because this is so unbelievably tedious. After your like 200th time running through this stage. I also only just realised we're on a single life. Nasty. Right, I did peg Jana as a bit of a combatant, so it'll be interesting to get into an actual boss fight with her now. See whether that really does hold true. Again, I'm a bit disappointed that the custom 1 ability can't be used in the air. Perhaps that's authentic, but it feels a bit off, you know? Can't do a thing, buddy boy. You're screwed. Though the charge does seem a bit temperamental. The hitbox is good though, so as long as you're looking vaguely in the direction and height of the enemy, you've got a good chance of hitting them. Sometimes your attacks after you charge one up. Ah, just a tiny bit too close. Go for the minecart skip. I'm afraid I don't know the minecart skip. Yeah, I don't really know many of the speedrunning techniques for the game. It's just not something that's ever really interested me, so I've never really searched it out. Oh, why did you go that way, you stupid fox? That is not the direction I pointed you in. Wonderful, now we go the slower, tedious route that doesn't take you much of anywhere interesting. Right, I'm just gonna get myself the rings, this is ridiculous. 9,999 rings? Why not? Very edgy, black and purple transformation. All of our attacks now fire off. Waver, that's cool. Okay, bit too easy to skip. Oh, you can skip. Oh, that one. The one where you're in the minecart already. You can skip the cave section. Yeah, I know about that one. I thought you were talking about one where you can skip the minecart section in its entirety. I've gone for it in the past and it just hasn't worked. So, yeah, I'm generally a bit reluctant to try it out. And finally, took long enough, but we finally got ourselves an in-air version of the DAS as well. Wonderful. Very nice super form. Like it a lot. Didn't quite get into the rocket, but there we are. Heavy from Eggman's Mechanics. Hello there. Hello, Heavy from Eggman's Chaotix. Sorry, mechanics, not chaotics. I don't know what I'm saying. Ooh, let's not skip over the nice set of rings. There we are. Oh yeah, of course we have our wall jump. Don't have to worry about all of this. Until we do, I guess. Sometimes, I guess because of the move-in floor, our abilities don't work so good. And I messed that up tremendously. But we just about get in before we lose our rings. That's good, because it means that we can keep them and hopefully go super in a moment. Do I bother going for any of the ring deposits? Nah, let's not. Let's just keep it simple, clean and professional. Skip a bunch of rings, that's kind of annoying. Probably could have gone super if we had collected them. Now we can go super. Not going to be the most exciting sequence on account of the fact that we decided to go the platforming route instead of the speed route, but considering that Jana's speed is very much directional, whereas that's all kind of twisty and turny and weavy, I didn't quite feel confident in taking her into there. We are out, and in we go. Oh, it looks like Skip has overtaken Echoes as the most popular. Oh, I have forgot how quickly your air drains in those sections. Looks like Skip may have overtaken Echoes as the most popular StephChars character. I'll go and cancel it at the end of the stream, and we'll figure out who was most popular then. Alright, let's go this way, because I think the other way will probably benefit Ku more, and that's, I think, the one we're going to finish off with next time. Nice. Probably shouldn't transform it now, because I know in this stage in particular it's good to leave it a while. But I can't help it, let's just do it now. To be fair, the infamous section I think Jana will probably do pretty good in, because of how quickly she can move and because of her wall jumping. I think she'll probably do quite well there. No rings in this section, which it's only now I realise it's kind of odd because there's usually loads of rings in all of the vents. Like here you get plenty of rings. Just enough to sustain a super form. I reckon we'll finish off this stage pretty quickly. Grab some rings here, that's another 4 seconds. Song doesn't change when you're super. I wasn't really expecting it to, but figured, you know, do a little bit of testing, why not? I'll be honest, it feels like Jana loses rings more quickly than other Superform characters. Okay, luckily she can jump off of those walls, that's good. Makes things a little bit easier. Risky jump for some rings there, but I figured it was worth it. Don't get crushed. Don't get crushed there either. And again, I was kind of hoping to dash through there, but I keep forgetting I don't have the dash when I'm not super. Oh. I'm trying to figure out what she's wearing on her legs. Is it just a pair of wide-flared swords or something? And then I always assumed that the sword comes out from their bracelets, but looking more closely at their victory sign, it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like they've got bracelets and then are also holding a sign, so who knows what's going on there. We do have a ground pound, which we can cancel, as much as I haven't used it much up until now. And we can break through spikes as well. I'm amazed that I haven't actually tried that earlier when playing as Jana. Have to say, not sure I like them quite as much as I liked Skip. I just think the lack of the dash is a bit awkward. It's as much as I understand it's accurate to the style of the game it's replicating, it feels like it's missing, you know? Even if it isn't, obviously isn't in reality, it feels like it was supposed to allow you to dash in midair, and you just can't, and that feels a bit off. I have no idea whether that's not copyrighted. I could be really messing up my stream here, but who knows. Yes, very good for boss fights when your attacks actually start generating projectiles, which it doesn't always for some reason. Maybe it's if you're not moving, they automatically generate projectiles. Maybe that's the idea. That would make sense. Oh! Just about get out of the way. Juked! Yeah, I think it's if you're not moving, you automatically generate projectiles. I suppose gives you a reason not to move during a boss fight. Risk and reward, I guess. See how that goes. Ooh. Ooh. Does make them a bit funny when you've got something like Metal Sonic, who you can actually tear through pretty quickly if you can have a decent way of guaranteeing he'll get spooked by something. Which he always seems to against the sword lasses. Oh god, you were almost like, what the? What? You kind of freaked out there at the end, Metal, I'm not gonna lie. Got a bit freaky. The particle effects don't appear to spawn in when you're on a moving platform. Or maybe just not this platform in general. Or maybe just not in this level in general. Huh, who knows. And let's get down to business. Quite literally in this case, let's get down. Right. Oh, of course it's not the typical place. And of course you're already aggressive. I don't know why sometimes you're aggressive and why sometimes you're not, but press custom 2 and toss flag. That's the extra taunt I was thinking of. That was the extra step. You gotta press custom 2 before you use toss flag. Just get in the acid. You're surprisingly good at dodging my projectiles, JackalMan. Surprisingly good. Figured we'd guarantee at least a good number of hits on you each time, but apparently not. Ah, there it is. Ah, I do like that. That's good. I did always like that meme. Ooh, get hits! Why did none of those projectiles actually land? That's going to guarantee us another cycle, isn't it? I reckon he's one hit away. I reckon we're forced into another cycle by a single hit. You're going to walk straight into the acid? No, apparently not. I was like, that'd be great. If you could just walk straight into the acid as soon as it appears, that'd be fantastic. And also if you could stop with that, because I was clearly out of your line of sight. There we are. Let's leave it at that. I reckon that's a good symbol to finish our first run of the day on. Unfortunately, the music does cut out after a while, but there we are. Right, that is playthrough number 1 done. Skip and Jana. Skip, definitely very high A rank. Liked him a lot. Turns out the hand time playstyle, if you can believe it, works quite well in SRB2. Jana, little bit lower, maybe teetering on the edge of between A rank and B rank. Maybe just about gets into A, but not confidently. And I gotta be honest, I remember being able to skip this, but none of my buttons do anything, so make of that what you will. Yeah, so definitely gonna say that I prefer skip so far, but again, it's Ku and Echoes played both comparatively recently, but not quite recently enough that I can feel like I can just sit there and say, yeah, they're better or worse. Be interesting to see how they turn out. Guess they're gonna be what's in the credits with me, guys, because I can't skip this for some reason. Do you reckon those Desiardins are brothers or something? Because one naming one of you Blade and the other Koltrak. Strange system there. I also swear some of these people have been added onto the credits over time. Or maybe it's just the fact that over time I recognise more of their names. Like obviously first time you go through and you don't really recognise anyone's names, but you keep going through and all of a sudden you start recognising more of their names. I'm sorry if the sound gets a bit weird. I'm moving my mic around to fit me a bit better. All of this time and I still haven't really figured out a good place to have it in relation to myself for consistent sound and comfort. Especially during a stream, because it just kind of inevitably gets in the way of the stream during one of those. Especially because the central mechanism is starting to go a little bit, so it gets a bit loose it gets a bit on the bonk if you put it in the wrong place, and it kind of just droops over time until it's in a position that benefits nobody, gets in your way, and is terrible for sound. Don't recognise any of those characters. Don't recognise any of their names, no. Rosalie Molina. Special thanks, funnily enough, to a load of people working on the Doom engine. Randy, I don't know why he's the only one with like an exclamation mark after his name, but there we are. SRB2 community contributors. Published by a 28k dial-up modem. Thank you for playing. Yeah, thanks. I haven't seen this one before. As far as I know, SSN Tales appears 6 times in the credits, which is the most someone appears here, I think. Probably. There was another guy working with him. I know obviously SSN Tales is like the big name behind the scenes on early SRB2, but there was someone else, wasn't there? It's called like Sonic Coup or something like that. It doesn't seem to get as much of a look in. Let's maybe not do another playthrough. Let's try some of the secret levels. Let's do the bonus stages with Coup and then the challenge stages. Yeah, Sonic Coup. That's correct. Ability, Wolf Strike, Wolf Missiles. And then of course you have the Titan Drop. Straight away, I'm not confident that I'm getting this correct. I'm definitely missing something, because this feels bizarre to play. Oh, come on. Oh, okay, you can cancel. That might be it. Oh, and can climb as well. Some walls, I guess. Some walls sometimes, I guess. Need to punch into it, that's it. I'll be interested. Oh my god. Well, that was a terrible start. I do not remember this character playing like this. This is horrible. I remember it being like a quick, you know, you punch, 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 and all the rest of that. This is just awful. What the hell is this? There it is. Oh, you bastard! Don't do it again! Oh. I remember Ku feeling a lot better than this, to be honest. Just massive wind at times on everything. Abilities are clunky. Oh yeah. And then he has a bunch of taunts, but frankly, who cares? And it's a bit annoying that we have to go into the secret levels every... Okay, don't do pipe towers, do forest fortress. Oh! You can cancel the wolf strike with the wolf missile, and the wolf missile by itself, I guess. I really hate how cool that is. I remember liking this guy, but I don't like this at all. I know you can cancel things, but that's hardly a win. Like, really slow climbing up walls, is that the best you can do? Like, missing the things that you're homing in on? Is that the best you can do? I remember him having like a double jump. Where's that gone? Heavy says, I presume Ku is about heavier feeling hits and explorer type stuff. Yeah, he's definitely an explorer. Or maybe a combatant. He does have the parry ability. Explorer, combatant hybrid. Reminds me of a certain Kettle. Yes. He is a heavy character, but he does not feel as good as Heavy did. I'll tell you that much. I'm sure you'll be happy to find out, Heavy from Eggman's Mechanics, that Heavy remains undefeated as a heavyweight character in SRB2. Although it's starting to make a bit more sense. Maybe it's one of those things that just takes a while to click. It does suffer from the knuckles problem though, they're really annoying. Guess I'm sitting here doing nothing problem whenever you do something quick. And have we somehow looped back on ourselves completely? We somehow ended up going right back to the start of the level. I thought things looked a bit familiar. This is one of those things, I think also because of SRB2 sometimes having somewhat wonky ground collision or detection. Like, I felt I was grounded several times there only for Ku to turn around and be like, no. Go use your in-air abilities, please. Don't hit me, Robo-Hood, don't hit me. The parry is good though, I do like the parry. Oh, great. Ah, bollocks. Can boost springs though. JackalMan has early onset dementia. Forgot how Q plays after a month. It was more than a month. It was like, it's been a year. It's been more than a year. It's been like at least a year and a half since the last played as Q. When I say play more recently, I'm talking relative terms here. Also, I was just generally playing a lot more SRB2 at that point, so perhaps I was just a little bit better at the game. Oh, good. Oh. Secret, I guess. Yeah, like it was right. I had only just unlocked Pandora's box at that point because I didn't realize how this mechanic worked. Hence why I was like, Q has a really bad super form. And then all of my comments on the video were just like, Q doesn't have a super form. You press the give this character a super form button. What were you expecting? How do you forget how to play any of the Steph characters? Add-ons, they're so memorable. I play a lot of games. I play a lot of games and I play a lot of characters. I remember how to play Skip. Because I guess I just liked him the most, but the others were all to some extent. Also, because Skip's kind of the easiest. I've always struggled with Jana comparatively, and then I only played Ku and Echoes to a limited degree in comparison to the first two, so just is what it is. And again, I think it is just a case that Ku does take just a little bit of time to set up, because already I'm feeling a lot more positively about him. Don't forget he's got his taunts as well. Oh, you. Again, I just remember him having a double jump. It's the strangest thing. I swore he had a double jump. It's crazy that there's so many mods and yet there's still nothing for Omega. Again, I'm the #1 Omega guy. I feel that loss, that absence I should say, more acutely than many others do. The lack of an Omega mod for SRB2 is criminal. And again, the fact he was then removed from ring races. He was in SRB2 kart and then they got rid of him for the sequel that I prefer infinitely more. I don't even like SRB2 kart that much. But it's the only way that I get to play as Omega in a SRB2 related game. It's infuriating. When you get the cancelling down, I imagine Ku together. As much as I did, I'm expressing annoyance. I do think he probably is a low A at worst. Maybe I'll boost Jana up a bit and stick Ku slightly lower. But I'm sure I'm pronouncing him in like a dozen different ways. I'm not keeping track. The other thing is he should be able to defeat enemies in one hit, so I'm not sure what happened there. It's crazy there's so many mods, and yet Omega, one of the most popular official Sonic characters, there's no mod for him at all. I don't think Omega's that popular. I think everyone likes Omega. I don't think anyone dislikes Omega, but I don't think he's many people's favourites. And people don't understand Omega in the way that I do. Maybe we should all just pick one SRB2 character and stick to it. Take my username, for instance, says Heavy from Eggman's Mechanics. I was on that button, come on. I'm on this. I pressed that button like 3 times. Ridiculous. You know what I could be playing right now? I could be playing The Witcher 3. I just installed it earlier today. I finished The Witcher 2 yesterday at about 1 o'clock at night. Okay, well technically I finished it earlier today because it was like 1 o'clock at night. And I could be sitting here playing The Witcher 3 now. And getting lost in the tutorial all over again, if it's anything like the last time I played The Witcher 3. But I'd have fun, damn it. And I'm used to The Witcher now. I get what The Witcher's up to. I I would have tried... Oh my god. I would have tried Make an Omega, says Pikmin, but I am not able to sprite him for the life of me. Life being in capitals. Very fair. I am kind of curious about doing a SRB2 mod at some point, but I've got a lot of other things on my plate, you know. I could do, but I've never been a pixel artist, and I don't think there's any way that you can mandate models for an SRB2 character, so I'd have to learn Lua from scratch. I'd have to learn how to sprite from scratch. I'd have to learn how SRB2 is put together from scratch. I'd just like to put a bounty on an Omega mod. Be like, hey guys, if you see a decent Omega mod, tell me. Oh, why are there so many of you? I don't remember there being anywhere near that many of those bandits in this stage. Right, this is not one of the intended routes, is it this? I always get confused. I don't know why. It's not exactly a complicated level. Actually, no, I lie. It is a complicated level. You just think that after I've done this so many times, I would stick in my head, but... SRB2, for some reason, knowledge is like a sieve. I just don't remember anything about SRB2. Like, even really important things. Omega mod wanted, finished or unfinished. Exactly. Make up an entire mock-up poster about it. The search for an Omega mod. $500 reward if you can bring me Omega's head. By which I mean a CSS. Official CSS character, select art. Skip everyone. There we are. Ooh, Bounty, I take that back. I'm doing it right now. Give me the money. Yeah, okay. I know I said bounty. I know I said that I pay, but let's hold our horses here, okay? Stable your horses. Let's maybe talk about this. Omega mod wanted, discontinued, or work in progress. I hate this one specific part of the level, and then Act 2 just sucks. Searching for all these tank plans. Yeah, again, playing SRB2 the past, it really illuminated to me just how much of SRB2, despite how popular it's been for years, for such a long time, it really did just kind of suck. It really was, for the longest time, just not a very good game. Like, there are occasional brief glimpses of greatness, even points where I would say that there's things that even the modern game doesn't do quite as well, but for the most part, just kinda sucked. Okay, the parry, once you get the timing down, that's fun. I imagine for actually avoiding attacks, it's a little bit annoying, but for crowd control, where you just have to run into an enemy and press it when you're vaguely near, it's great. Until the moment where the enemies don't drop down, and then all of a sudden it's a bit annoying. By pay, he means a YouTube shout-out. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what. Let's parry him to death. There we are. Every time someone mentions Omega's head in a sentence, I always think of that part from the Metal Virus arc where Omega was alive, but he was just a head since his body was destroyed. Yeah. That's a great arc. I remember I was keeping up with IDW the entire time back around the Metal Virus arc. And then I dropped off around the time that Surge got big. It was the was it? It was the capital C later. It was the point where Starline died, where it's just like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling any of the new characters they're introducing. All of the characters that I actually like to see, they're all gone. I don't care actually all that much. And I'm sure it's gone better since, but it's just like, I'm not getting back into it. Like, I know people complain about the Metal Virus arc being ridiculous degrees of melodrama for a Sonic story, and they're right. They're not incorrect, but I do like it. I did like it. I do like a nice long interconnected storyline in a comic book. What can I say? Right, Echoes and Abyss I remember being the most complicated of the set, but we'll see whether that holds true. Void Glide, Jump, Phantom Twill. Oh, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Oh! Okay. Forgot about the whole bouncing off walls using your main ability thing. At least you can cancel it pretty quickly by pressing L2 from the looks of it. That'll fix things. And then I do like, again, I mentioned it before, I do like the inverted effect. Echoes is crazy fun. I think it's going to be like Coup. I remember having a lot of fun with Echoes in the same way that I had a lot of fun with Coup. I just don't think that a very short appearance on a stream where I'm kind of touching them again for the first time in ages is the best way to get that experience again, you know? I think some characters, admittedly, are going to be... Oh, right, there's a Cackle-Lantern there. I was like, what hit me? Okay, not going through there. Yeah, I just think a fairly short appearance on the stream. Just some characters do get a little bit underserved by that. So in some cases I am kind of working off a... Hey, I remember playing as this guy. To an extent that I'm not for others. Where are we going here? We're just dropping down. I feel like we're just dropping down. I got very scared as we were dropping down. That's like, oh, we're not. This isn't going well. Right, over this way. Ooh, nearly biffed it, but just about managed. And it feels great taking out these Cackle-Lanterns like this. Such an annoying enemy. And it's just like, your stealth games don't work on me. Oh, and Pandora's Box. Because I think Echoes does have a super form somehow. Custom 2. Could be a hot take, but I don't like Echoes that much. I just don't like flying over everything. I mean, a fair take, an understandable one. I do think Echoes has enough of, what's it called? Difficulty. There's a high enough difficulty to Echoes that I think the ability that you can just fly over things if you get it right, I think that is fair enough. It's justified. Okay, and we move straight into it with the secret levels, the challenge levels. That's good. Okay, I remember that being damaging. Lucky that there was a checkpoint right by there. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Don't look at the bits where I'm failing. Just when I say look at this, imagine that I'm pulling off an amazing stunt. Just imagine, if you will. In your mind's eye, when I say, look at this, I'm doing something really impressive. If I drop it immediately after I say it, just don't mention, just don't say anything. Be a good little lamb and just be like, yes, clap, clap. I'm seeing a lot of comments, but it's, I'm too engrossed, I can't look over. Man, I got so used to the Arid Canyon name that I can't look. Maybe a hot take, that's fair. That's just why I hate flies like Echoes. Just really like her super form and abilities in large levels like Arid Canyon. At least something like Tails as a punishment for hitting a wall. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the bus bombers. I thought they'd be further away than they were. There's punishment for hitting a wall, and they can't go very quickly. Again, very fair, but at the same time, Tails is so easy to use that it's like, yeah, obviously you can't do anything that interesting with them. Because it'd be ridiculously overpowered if you could. Echoes is difficult enough to use, so I'm like, are they kind of overpowered? Yeah, duh. But because they're difficult, I'm like, well, yeah, because I want a reward for mastering a difficult character. You know? I don't want to spend ages learning a difficult character and then they're just kind of crap, you know? My Trash cannot beat this zone without fly. I just, yeah. I mean, I don't really bother. Like, I can, but it's just so long and boring. There's like, why would I bother, you know? Oh, didn't quite get it right. But it's fine, we can just cancel in midair effectively and do it that way. We end up in the river. I do like the black hole effect when there's a lot of enemies. It's quite fun just watching them all being sucked up. I beat Aerial Garden with heavy. It was hell. I can't imagine. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you look at Aerial Garden and be like, you know what I want to do? Well, actually, I can understand why heavy from Eggman's mechanics. You might decide you want to be Aerial Temple with heavy from Eggman's mechanics. I rescind my statement. Actually, it makes perfect sense. Oh my god. Don't get stuck on the pillar, you... Are they all foxes? I just realised that. They're all various kind of foxes, aren't they? I'll be honest. Sonic animals look so similar that I just kind of, in my mind, went, yeah, they're all different things. But they're not. They're all foxes. That's kind of dull. What is Jelly Tails' abilities anyway? As someone that played Jelly Tails very recently, I could not tell you. I have no idea. Right, here's a treat for you as we finish off this stream. Let's try and beat Azure Temple with echoes. I've already did it on video, but that wasn't live. People could claim that I faked it somehow. So I'm now going to do it live to showcase that, no, actually, I did do it. Difficult though it is. Echoes doesn't need air once he has Abyss. Yeah, I figured that one out. Only problem is now I don't have Abyss. Oh, you... Hate those enemies. I figured the fact that we're sucking them in means that they're not going to actually cause us to stall or to breathe air, but nope, apparently they still do. This temple is Azure, alright. Yeah. Certainly is, for better or worse. Hint, for worse. Okay, they don't do it if you do it right. There we are. That's the key to Azure Temple. Just be good. Just be better than you are. And you'll get through it soon enough. Yeah, I was about to say the... water bubbles here. It doesn't really do much for us. It just gives us a slightly different distortion effect on our abilities. Which again, would be cooler if it wasn't for the fact that we're underwater, so we can't actually see the distortion effect much anyway. Fair and balanced? Who's ever heard of such a ridiculous thing. Okay, that single gargoyle golem clearly did. But it's fine, we were right by a checkpoint anyway. Oh. Let's just... Okay, I didn't think they got that close to the ceiling, to be honest. I wasn't paying enough attention. You saw nothing. Okay, guys? You saw nothing there. What I did was completely legitimate. Thought I heard a bandit for a moment. But I think I was just being a bit paranoid. Oh, come on. We were so close to getting enough rings to go super. I want to go super in Azure Temple. That's fun. Just let me go super. We're going super, boys. We're going super. This is Deltarune, isn't it? This music. Or Undertale. Or some related property. I don't know or care enough about anything to do with Toby Fox to know for certain. But it sounds vaguely like it. Or certainly like something you'd expect to see in those games. Right, well this bit's a lot easier now we have invulnerability. Would like some rings though. Ah, look at that. It's almost like the stage heard me. Game, take away his super so the stream lasts longer. Nope. I'm no good at long streams. I don't have the stamina for them. You are getting a short stream, and that's it. That's the end. That's the end of the discussion. If you want a long stream, go find someone else. If you want consistent streams, released regularly, stay here. I can do that. Well, actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even do streams consistently. If you want the concept of a stream, then you can stay here. Just don't expect them to last very long. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people do, like, 7-hour streams or whatever. Crazy. And, of course, even the ones that go much longer than that. It's like, how do you do it? Right, let's go this way. It's better for everyone. 100%. I've hit this. Oh. There we go. Now it counts. You're the only guy streaming SRB2. Fair enough. I should clarify that the next stream, if you're here for SRB2 streaming, will be a bit of a disappointment. Oh my, why do you fire diagonally? I was like, oh, it'll be fine. They're not gonna, I'll be great. Wonderful. How do you regenerate Abyss again? Isn't it hitting a checkpoint? Might as well try and do it without, might as well try and do it legitimately. Well, that was quick. Oh, look at that. Suddenly, without the upbeat super music, the stage is a bit more pensive. That's no good. Don't like a pensive stage. I remember I used to put this as the background audio on some videos until I realized this is ridiculous. This feels so somber. Is this really the sort of thing that I want being the backdrop to my videos? This is just kind of creepy, you know? Why did my ability just give up? Ah, drat. Super music is from A Hat in Time. Yeah. Okay, well, that's kind of related. I say it's kind of related to Undertale Deltarune. It's got absolutely no relation at all. It's just that the same sort of people like it. I just find that there's an overlap in the crowd who like it. Again, a monster hitting a checkpoint, yeah. I remember the checkpoint one, I didn't remember what the other criteria for regenerating Abyss comes back. You should play Hat in Time. I have played a Hat in Time. I did enjoy it quite a bit. Again, I didn't love the humour. It's not my kind of humour, but the actual gameplay, very fun. Okay. 1 hour and 20 minutes. Do I end the stream here? Ooh. I kind of want to play more, but I don't know what to do when I'm playing. I've finished all of these characters, and I need to go and script their bits. If I knew how to record and stream at the same time, I could go and just keep the stream going while I go and record a bunch of footage, because I need loads of footage for the ranking. I'm just gonna have the footage playing in the background. I'm not gonna do much fancy editing or much editing at all, but I need to have new footage for loads of characters, and I'm going to replace old footage as well, because did you know that my hour-long footage clip, of course you don't know this, but my hour-long clip with Inazuma gameplay is no less than 20 gigabytes in size. 20 gigabytes. It's ridiculous. I need to replace it. Same. Clearly, whatever I was doing at that point with my settings on recording, it was just unbelievable. Should be at the very least 24 hours. You're gonna have to pay me. If you want me to stream for 24 hours, I need to be paid for that. That's a job at that point. Free streams again, hour and 20 minutes, and that's the best you're getting. Yeah. I'm going to be taking out your paycheck. This remaining 5 minutes where I ramble on at the end of a stream. Right. Future content. That's everything I had planned for this SRB2 character replay. I am now free to do whatever I want on these streams again. I can confirm that the next SRB2 character I am covering is Asura. It's not a particularly complex mod, but I just wanted to cover it. It was an interesting thing. It came up when I searched my name on the forums, and I'm vain. So if someone appeases to me with claims of wanting me to go and review their mod, then I'm going to go review their mod, because I like the attention. The channel's doing pretty poorly. My playthroughs are killing it. And not in the positive sense. The playthroughs are absolutely destroying me in the algorithm. They're doing terrible. And that's dragging the SRB2 videos down as well. But I'm hoping, especially when Phantasy Star 2 is over, and I'm going to keep doing them. They're terrible for the channel, but I can't help myself. I'll keep doing them regardless. I should probably check, actually. Who won the poll? End poll. Who was the most popular StephChars? 9 people voted, and it was Skip with 45% of the vote. Echoes with 33%. Jana and Koo, 11%. That's going to be like 1 vote each. So yeah, usually I could expect an SRB2 review to do something like 1,000 views in a day. The latest one was Huggert, and it got something like 400 like a week later. So yeah, I'm going to need to figure out how to somehow balance the playthroughs with restoring my place in the algorithm, because it hates the playthroughs, which they're doing terribly. I can't necessarily blame it. The Sado banning system doesn't like the playthroughs. How did the GOAT Jana lose? Quite easily. I think if I had to go and vote for my favourite there, I think Skip's my favourite. Could even be an S-rank character for me. I think, in fact, I pretty much agree with the ranking there. At least how it's written on my screen, which says that Skip, Echoes, Jana, and Koo. I think that's pretty much what I agree with. I think that's pretty much my ranking of the characters. I just have to figure out where that places among dozens and dozens of other characters. So yeah, future content next stream, which could be as early as Sunday, will be a bit of a strange one. It's not going to have this setup. It's going to be on eSWAT, one of the games I'm playing through. I just want to get the thing over with, and I'm terrible at the game. I don't like the game. It doesn't have cheats, so I can't cheat my way through the game. I'm just going to do it on a stream and get it over and done with. I'm going to do it without the chat and stuff visible, just to get it, just to kind of make it look like it's vaguely a playthrough. But I need someone else to be there when I make my way through the rest of the game, because I hate it. Which is a recurring concept for a lot of these games, actually. You know what? Let me show you backlogged. So I can show you what future plans are. I can have something open to illustrate my point about what I'm doing in the imminent future. Let's see, display capture, no, window capture, that's it. Backlogged. Boom. That's pretty much all on screen, I think. Enough of it is on screen that you get the general point. Going on to my profile. You can see all the games I've been playing recently. Phantasy Star 2, I actually need to update that because I played it today. All of the games I've played in across the playthroughs, started them in February of Sonic Time Twisted, and this is what we've covered so far. Fair number of games. 2 games played at the moment, Phantasy Star 2 and eSWAT. By Sunday, hopefully eSWAT is over with, thank God. Phantasy Star 2 will take a while longer, but I'm really rushing through it at this point because I also don't enjoy that one much. Backlog, Ren Shinobi, sort of a million. I'm going to be picking from this top row as I progress. I select one of the games in this top row. But one thing I should mention is that I reckon I am going to, perhaps on these streams, I think one way that I might kind of vary stuff up, so it's not just SRB2 and Dr. Robotnik's Ring Races, but at the same time it's still stuff that people are coming to the channel to see, which I admit that a lot of the playthroughs aren't. Maybe I'll do fan games on the streams. Let me have a look. There's going to be Sonic fan games. Like, what stuff is on here? Okay, they're the kind of old crappy ones. Okay, is there a slightly newer one with some of the more popular ones of current times? Oh, there we are. There's me. Comprehensive Sonic game list. 550 games. That's going to be all of the fan games as well. Let's see. Like Sonic and the Fallen Star. Let's maybe do that on a stream, you know? Sonic, let's not do Sonic Omens. Sonic Storm, that's kind of vaguely interesting. I don't love the art style, but it'd be interesting to see how it plays. Sonic Adventure Blast 2, is that the Phantasy Star based RPG? No, it's not. Yeah, maybe like bigger mods as well on SRB2. Once that you are a little bit beyond just playing the game, you know? Click here to start browsing add-ons, go on SRB2, and stuff like True Arena mods. Okay. Where is it? I figured it would just be up here. Maybe a randomizer. Do a stream on it and then edit it to make it a video. I don't know how this one works. But you get the point. Try and vary things up on here. See how that goes. SRB2 Infinity, that's the one I was thinking of. Because apparently I'm not having enough fun with Phantasy Star as it is, with the massively tedious game that's Phantasy Star 2. Let's go and play a version of the game, version of SRB2 based vaguely on Phantasy Star. See how that goes. See whether it feels a little bit better in SRB2. If I get something that I quite like and something that I really hate, see whether they mix together at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm rambling now. You get the point. I'm looking at things to do beyond just SRB2. Don't want to cancel the playthroughs as much as it's killing the channel. So I think I'm going to try and do more interesting things with SRB2 as well, instead of just reviews. There was that video a while back where I tried practicing speedrunning with Exonic, and I've been meaning to get around to that again at some point. So probably that will come soon enough. That'll be one of the first interested things with SRB2. I did a playthrough of Sonic Adventure 2 Blast, and that did really well. Maybe I can do that with some of the other level packs. Because then, you still got the playthrough thing, which I want to branch out into doing somewhat, but at the same time, you still got the SRB2 concept. Pikmin bringing up SRB2 Chaotic Edition is a good randomizer if you need any. Yeah, I think I've seen that one before. I think I looked at it and being like, hey, you could do that on stream. I would like to do the SRB2 Archipelago if I could find people interested in doing that. The only problem is, in typical fashion, it requires port forwarding, and as I've said dozens and dozens and dozens of times on these streams, I can't port forward. I could do the whole VPN way to get around having to do port forwarding, but I'd need to do a load of research onto that, and undoubtedly I'd end up needing to pay somehow, I think. I doubt you can go and get a VPN and set up a network and stuff just out of the kindness of some other people's hearts. I think I probably would need to pay to do that. The point is, we'll keep doing SRB2 stuff as I branch out in other ways, just trying to find ways to vary them a bit, instead of just doing character review and level review and character review and level review. Do some more speedrunning in SRB2, for example. Or discussing other things, like maybe a ranking of skip shields, because I realise that some of them are way better than others. Just, you get the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to vary things up a bit. But yeah, that's it for today. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and sticking through the rest of the stream. I'm going to go rank up my final couple of write-ups relating to characters now. And then I'm going to have to begin on the long, undoubtedly, and by the end of it, considering how much I can already see Premiere lagging, making the thing, undoubtedly very annoying process of putting together this ranking and then sticking it in my back pocket until we hit 5k. I'm hoping that if we get to 5k by the end of the year with how much it slowed down, I'm going to take that as a success. I was kind of hoping maybe we did it by the midway through the year, but as it turns out, with this taking as long as it did, it was a good thing that we didn't. Hopefully once this is done and I'm not having to think about this, we'll have enough space to, get back into a faster upload schedule. In general, this year's been pretty terrible for the channel, and some of it's my own fault, some of it's just the fact that I just have not had time to work on it. But hopefully, for the rest of this year, and especially next year, we pick things up a little bit. But yeah, again, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy the stream. Tune in next time, whatever that ends up being. But for now, adios and ciao.